بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. Now we're discussing and we're moving on to another rule regarding the af'alun naqisa. What we're saying here, we're saying that the first five in the list that we have, the first five takhtassu are specific to muradafa. Radif, you know what radif literally means? The one who rides the same horse as you is a radif. So if you both on the same camel, same horse, same donkey, he's your radif. So if two words write the same meaning, they're doing muradafa. They're writing the same meaning. So the word, this is the meaning. Excuse my drawing, right? This is the meaning. That's supposed to be some kind of animal. So this is the meaning. What does this mean? To sit. So two words sit on this meaning. What words sit on this? Jalasa and qa'ada. So qa'ada and jalasa are radif. So they're doing radafa. You get it?
What does it mean? They have the same meaning?
Right, that's what it now means. But originally it means to ride the same conveyance. So
it's the more commonly used because it's by the head.
Huh? Don't get too technical. Yeah. So muradafa, to have the same meaning. To be synonymous. What does it mean? Synonymous. What does synonym mean? To have the same meaning. So the first five in the list that we had, kana, amsa, asbaha, adha, and dhalla, are specific in being synonymous with sara. The first five in the list, which are the first five? Kana, amsa, asbaha, adha, and dhalla. These are specific in being synonymous to sara. What does that mean? That these five, certain times, they can, if it's from the context, instead of meaning was in the evening, in the morning, in the forenoon, and during the day, it can mean became. What can it mean? Become. Have you understood? What does it mean? It can mean become. For example, فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. So the angels prostrated. إِلَّا إِبْلِيسِ إِسْتَكْبَرَ وَكَانَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. This is one tafsir, but one tafsir, kana means here what? How do you translate kana? Became. So kana yuradifu sara, i.e. it means sara, became. Are you following? So, another examples, kuntum a'da'an. Oh people of the Medina, you were a'da'an. فَأَلَّفَ بَيْنَ قُلُوبِكُمْ. He reconcile and join your hearts. فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ إِخْوَانًا فَأَصْبَحْتُمْ بِنِعْمَتِهِ إِخْوَانًا. You became, أي صرتم, you became through his mercy brothers.
Does asbah mean in the morning?
That's the original meaning. That's what we're saying here. The original meaning of kana is was. The original meaning of asbah is in the morning. But these are specific. These five can be used in the meaning of sara. They can be synonymous to sara. Do you understand? Another example in the Quran, إِن نَشَأْ نُنَزِّلْ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ آيَةً. If we wish, we could have sent down upon them a clear sign from the heavens that Allah is angry with you, that this is Allah. But if there's a clear sign that, like obviously we know that this is like a, from Allah directly without any, then you're forced to accept it. فَظَلَّتْ أَعْنَاقُهُمْ لَهَا خَاضِئِينَ. Their dhalla, their necks would become submissive. They will bow down. The punishment of Allah has come upon us. فَظَلَّتْ أَعْنَاقُهُمْ لَهَا خَاضِئِينَ. Their necks will become submissive to that sign. So what's happening here? These words are synonymous to what? Sahara. And the last example we have here, إِذَا بُشِّرَ أَهَدُهُمْ. Before Islam, some tribes, they used to bury their daughters alive. They never used to like having daughters. So when one of them is given glad tidings or given news of a daughter, بِمَا ضَرَبَ لِلرَّحْمَنِ مَثَلًا. This is kinaya. This is only for the people who will be doing balagha in the morning. Kinayatun anil mawsuf. So when they are given glad tidings of a daughter, I'm not going to go through that, it's not linked to our topic. What happens? ظَلَّ وَجْهُهُ. His face becomes muswaddan, dark, and he's sad that I got a daughter, I don't want a daughter. Yes? And Islam negated this practice. You shouldn't have this. Boys and girls, they both have their khair. Prophet ﷺ says in hadith, whoever brings up two daughters, he looks after two daughters and raises them, Allah will put him in Jannah like this. Allah will give him a high status in Jannah like this. Yes? So, that's another issue. But in this example, in dhalla, dhallat, asbahtum, and kana, all of these are in the meaning of sara. Yes, and actually we can also say that amsa, asbaha, adha, and dhalla are sometimes even more commonly used in the meaning of sara. Yes, understood? And how do we know? Our favorite word is context. Yes, context helps us understand and determine the meaning of these words. You got it? Any questions so far? Another example. وَغَيْرُ لَيْسَ وَفَتِئَ وَزَالَ. Yeah. Now here. Apart from laysa, fati'a, and zala. We say here, al-baqi. In al-baqi. So apart from laysa, fati'a, and zala. This is a bit, again, one of his difficult texts. He's structured a bit difficult. So what's the meaning here? All of the af'alun naqisa, apart from laysa, fati'a, and zala, bi jawazi tamam. Bi here means are in the possibility of tamam. Tamam, tam, complete. Meaning, these can also be fa'lun naqis and fa'lun tam. A fa'lun tam is what? Where you have a fa'il and a fa'il. That's it. The others are optional. And a fa'lun naqis means what? You have a fa'il, you have an ism, and you must have what? A khabar. Kuntu, I was. I wasn't what? Yeah, qa'iman, they have a khabar. So as mahzuf is different. We're saying here that you can have the other ones. So a fa'lu tam is a normal verb. We don't even call it fa'lu tam because all verbs are fa'lu tam. You understand? All verbs are what? Fa'lu tam. We're talking about fa'lu naqis is what? Must have a khabar. So these are af'alun naqisa. So the usual and the norm is what? That these af'alun naqisa will have a ism and have a khabar. Sometimes it is possible for us to remove the what? Khabar. And it just means it becomes tam. You have a fa'il and fa'il. For example, Allah said, kun, be, I exist. Yes? Kanat harbun. What does harb mean? So kanat harbun means what? What's kanat harbun mean? There was a war, that's it. Not the war was severe, the war was long, the war was short, the war was deadly, the war was stupid. There was a war. Yes? Kana sawtun. There was a sound. Sound existed, there was a sound. So now it's kana fa'il, sawtun fa'il. So this kana means just to exist. It doesn't mean mubtada is khabar, it just means existed. It's the meaning of wajada, for example. Yeah, explain that one. Okay, you got the concept? What's the translation? Apart from laysa, fati'a, and zala, the remainder can be jawaz, or in the possibility or possible, the remainder could possibly be tam, not naqis. And what does tamam mean? Explaining, i.e., they can be independent of a khabar or not in need of a khabar. Yes? Do you understand? Muhammad, you following? Abdullah? Umar? To be independent of. So they can become independent of the khabar. Understand?
Opposite of tamam is naqis.
Naqis. Tamam and nuqsan. So instead of being fa'lun naqis, they can become what? Fa'lun tam. Where they don't need a khabar, they just simply have what? An ism, a fa'il. That's it, and done. No, there's a fa'il lazim, so they won't have maf'ul. They can have maf'ul fi. They can have maf'ul fi, possibly. So kana sawtun kharij al-bab. There was a noise outside of the door. You can have maf'ul bihi, you can have maf'ul fi. Maf'ul mutlaq, but technically, but I don't think you would see it actually happening. In theory, you can maf'ul lahu. In theory, you can have all of them except maf'ul bihi, but you don't really have it in theory, in practical. Okay? Okay? So for all of them, kana, amsa, asbaha, adha, dhalla, bata, sara, not laysa, not ma zala, not ma fati'a, man fakka, ma bariha, and ma dama. They can become tam. And I give a few Quranic examples. وَإِن كَانَ ذُو أُسْرَةٍ فَنَظِرَةٌ إِلَى مَيْسَرَةٍ. He's talking about when he's taken a loan or a debt. So if there is a dhu usra, usra means a person who is a poor person. Usra, person in difficulty. So kana is fa'il, dhu usratin is fa'il. That's it, not ism al khabar. If there is a poor person, then you should give him respite to a short time. Give him a chance to pay his debt. Yes? Amsa, to be something in the morning. So Zayd was sick in the morning, Zayd was healthy in the morning, Zayd was happy in the morning, Zayd was sad in the morning. But what can we say? فَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ حِينَ تُمْسُونَ وَحِينَ تُصْبِحُونَ. Where's the khabar of tumsoon? There is no khabar. It's a ism, which is the fa'il, which is wow. That's it. So glory to be Allah when you enter the morning. And glory be to Allah when you enter the evening or when you enter the morning. So it is a fa'lun tam. Tumsoon, fa'il. Wow is a fa'il. Noon is alamatul rafa'. Are you following? There's no khabar here. These are bijawaz tamam, ay al-istighna'u anil khabari. Do you understand? Khalidina fiha ma damat as-samawati wal ard. The people of Jannah will remain in Jannah forever as long as the heavens and the earth are. I.e., as long as the heavens and the earth exist, remain. It's not as long as the heavens and the earth are big, as long as the heavens and the earth are small, as long as the heavens and the earth are... It's as long as the heavens and the earth exist, intact, are there. Do you understand? Yes?
You have to read this as long as.
As long as.
You have to read it.
Anything in that meaning, as long as...
Until.
not until, as long as. Until gives a stop meaning, as long as give a parallel meaning. So this is until here, and as long as mean this will stay in line with this. So it's, you get my thing? Okay? Okay? So basically, when you have until, you say this is until, that this will continue until this point. And this is and with as long as this thing that this is going to carry on as long as this comes and this is in place. There's no ending point for this, which is this. The ending point of this, is based on this. Yeah. Okay. Does everybody understand? Yes. Okay. So far so good. Okay. The next rule. Now we're discussing a few particular rules of kana. Only kana have these rules. Wa kana bi jawazi. Kana can this. So there are about 4 or 5 rules specific to what? Kana. So kana bi jawazi. Kana can also be, kana is permissible for kana to, number 1, ziyadatiha mutawassitatan. This doesn't come anywhere in the Quran or Hadith, it's a few poetry that say. Kana, it is possible for kana. We can say here what? It is possible for kana to be extra in the middle. It is possible for kana to be the extra in the middle, meaning you can have a kana between ma ahsana zaidan. I'm not going to detail because it doesn't come really that much. When you say in poetry, that one poem, just remember it then. Okay? So what's extra here is ma ahsana zaidan. So what's the Arab? Ma is what? Ma is mubtada. This is the khabar. Kana is harfu sila or harfu za'id. Yes? And then ahsana zaidan is a khabar made up of what? Fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul bihi, fa'il ta'ajjub. Af'il bi zaydin wa ma af'alahu. Remember that one? So Zayd is such a wonderful person. Ma ajmal al-Quran. How beautiful is the Quran? Yes? So mubtada, fa'il fa'il, and this becomes the maf'ul bihi of that, and that becomes this fa'il ta'ajjub. So here, the kana is excess, meaning it doesn't have a meaning, it creates emphasis, but it's no mustaqil meaning. Okay? No. Ahsan is a fa'il ta'ajjub. Remember, ma af'ala, ma akrama, yeah? Is it for emphasis, is extra. So when we say extra, it doesn't mean, oh, it's there for no purpose. When we say za'id, in Arabic, anything is za'id, it doesn't mean, oh, take it off and it makes no difference. It creates emphasis, but it doesn't give an independent meaning. Yeah? Or it gives additional, it emphasizes the meaning, but it doesn't give new meaning. You following? Okay. You following? Anybody following? Okay. The next one is, wakan is also possible for the noon of the mudari of kana to be removed. It is also possible, so kana bi jawazi is out from that one. It is also possible for the noon of the mudari of kana to be removed. Yes? It is also possible for the noon of the mudari of kana to be removed. For example, you have here Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. Allah says, وَلَمْ يَكُ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ, and he was not from the polytheists. What's lam yaku? Lam yakun. So it's kana yakunu. It's yakunu. You add lam, it becomes lam yakunu, becomes lam yakun. Ijtima'u sakinain. Where do you have to drop now? You drop the waw, the weak letter, and it becomes lam yakun. But what's happened to the noon? You drop. It is permissible to drop the noon from kana yakunu. It is permissible to drop what? The noon from kana yakunu. You following? Yes? But there are a few conditions. But you get the gist of it? Now instead of saying lam yakun, you can say lam yaku.
Can you do the and the nahi?
It's coming up. Yeah? Okay. These are the conditions. Number one, it has to be fa'il mudari. It can't be? Can't be what? What you just ask. It can't be amr. It can't be madhi. Or it can't be nahyun. So in these you can't have it. You can't have, you can't drop the noon in those. Number two, the mudari must also be what? Majzoom. It can't be mudari marfu, or it can't be mudari mansoob. So for example, you can't say, because if you say yaku and you drop the noon, you get confused whether it's marfu state, because noon is a lot, you wouldn't know what's happening here.
If you say yaku, you want to say.
If you say yaku, it's this way. But they don't do it. Arabs don't do it. Okay? So for example, وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ. Is it majzoom? Yakuna.
No.
So you can't drop it. It's a mansoob. Yakuna ar-rasul. وَلْيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ. So وَيَكُونَ is mansoob, therefore you can't drop it here. Are you following? Okay. And number two, you can't have waqf on it. Meaning it can't be somewhere you would normally do waqf on a sentence. So for example, if I say, ma kana, he was not and he wasn't. Walam, I can't say walam yaku and do waqf. Because you just stop there, innit? Walam yak. That was something, yak, walam yak. The food is not yaki, walam yak. You can't say that. You get it? Are you following? So we're going to praise somebody. Hada ta'am, lam yak. Yes. Okay? So it's not mawquf alayh waqf, meaning you don't do waqf on it. You don't do what? Waqf on it. It's in the middle of a sentence. Are you following? So it has to be mudari, it has to be madzoom, and you can't do waqf on it. It has to be what? غير موقوف عليه. You can't do waqf on it. Okay? And there's a few other conditions. The other condition is you can't have a dhamir mansoob muttasil after it. So for example, in is what? What kind of particle is in? Shart, which is what? Because it jazm, doesn't it? So is it yakun majzoom? Could we say in yakuh? No, because what comes after it? Hadha is the mansoob maf'ul, the khabar of kana. If he is it, if you are it in tag, in yakunhu, you can't say in yakuhu. You can't drop it here because there's a zamir after it, because it becomes too hard to pronounce. In yakuhu. Okay? And the last thing is, you can't have a sakin after it. So for example, lam yakunillah. So after the word Allah, what does it have at the beginning? Sukoon, is it? It's shadda. Allahu. It's really al. Don't write it like that, but for example, Allahu, isn't it? So the sakin at the beginning. So you can't say lam yakullahu because there's sakin after it. Yes? It only comes when there's a mutaharrik after it. So for example, I could say for example, so basically, you're fortunate enough that your name can have lam yaku before it. Hassan's name can't have lam yaku before it. So I can say for example, lam yaku Muhammadun na'iman. Because why? This is mudari, number one. Number two, it's majzoom. Number three is not waqf on it. There's no waqf on it. It's wasl. So what are the conditions? It's what? Mudari. Yes? It's mudari, majzoom. It's wasal. You don't stop on lam yaku, lam yak. It's part of the sentence. Then after that, is there zamir mansoob after it? There's no zamir mansoob. And is the word after it sakin? No. So you say lam yaku Muhammad. Na'iman. But if I have al-Hasan, I can't say lam yakul Hasanu. Why? Because alif lam al-Hasan. So you have to say lam yakunil Hasanu na'ima.
What if you say Hasanun?
Hasanun. His name is Al-Hasan. If you say Hasanun, then you could. But then Hasanun, the name Hasan has alif lam on it. Yes? Lam yaku Abdullahi ghadiban. Abdullah was not angry. So lam yaku Abdullahi ghadiban. Yes? Walam yaku Abdul Rahman sami'a. Kunta sami'a? Amla. Kunta sami'a? No. Say, wallahi. Say, wallahi kuntu sami'a. Now all of these 6 conditions he's explained in the text. He says here, and it is possible for the noon of the mudari of kana to be removed. Hazf. You get a translation? And it is possible for the noon of the mudari of kana to be removed. Yes? Al-Majzoom, we translate alif lam as what? Wasilatu al-wasfu. Remember? So which, remember alif lam is alladhi. Which is Majzoom. Yes, so mudari, Majzoom. So mudari, so what's condition number 1? Mudari. Condition number 2, it has to be Majzoom. Condition number 3, in the state of joining, meaning it can't be waqf. Waslan, in the state of continuous reading. I think I spelled that wrong, but it doesn't matter, that's not my job. I'm teaching Arabic, not English. Yeah. Yes, in the state of continuous reading. Number 4, illam yalqaha sakin wala dhamirun nasbin muttasil. If it does not have lam yalqaha, it meets. If a sakin does not meet with it, what does that mean? A sakin, so fa'il. A sakin does not meet with it mean?
The word after being said.
Yes. If there is no sakin after it. If there is no sakin after it. Wala dhamirun, nor an attached mansoob pronoun, which would be the khabar basically. I.e. is khabar. And in this case, what happens?
Then there'll be no house on the moon.
There will be no, it doesn't have to be, it's possible, jawaz. It is possible to remove the noon. Do you understand?
So if these things are here, you can't remove the noon. If any of these conditions are met, you can't remove the noon.
No, if any of these conditions are not met. If it's a madhi, it's not madzoom, it's waqf, there's a sakin after it,
If all the conditions are met,
then you can if you want to. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ مُغَيِّرًا نِعْمَةً etc. etc. Understood? Yes? Okay. Any questions from online? Okay. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.